Hi everyone, today I'm going to demonstrate an e-commerce system built using Java. We have structured the system into different components for handling users, products, orders, and payments. In this video, I will walk you through the entire process of how everything is integrated and explain the objective of each line of code as executed. Step 1. User creation. First, we need to create a user who will interact with the system. In this example, we are simulating a user called Noob. Let's look at the lines where we created this user. So in this line right here, we are creating an instance of the user controller. This object allows us to access the user-related functionalities of the system. The user controller internally calls the user service, which is responsible for fetching user details. This is the part of the controller service pattern where controllers handle requests and services contain the business logic. Next, in this line, we call this get user method from user controller and pass Noob as the argument. This simulates switching a user from a database by their name. Inside the user controller, the get user method calls the user service to retrieve the user. The user service then creates return a user object with the name Noob. Now, the user object contains the details of our user Noob, and we are ready to move to the next step. At this point, we have the user Noob, and we're going to the next step is step 2, product selection. Now, the user selects a product to buy. In this case, we will simulate the purchase of a laptop. Let me show you how this is done in the code. In this line, we create an instance of a product controller which handles product-related functionality. The product controller works with the product service to manage product data. This is another part of the controller service pattern, where we separate the concerns for clean code and better maintainability. In this line here, we call the get product method from product controller pass laptop as the product name. The product controller sends this request to product service. So product service the product service creates and returns a product object for a laptop. Now, the product object contains all the necessary details for the laptop that the user wants to purchase. These steps simulates how the system would retrieve product information from a database, using the controller to handle the user's request. At this point, Nagdab has selected laptop as the product they want to buy. Now we'll move on to the next step, creating an order. So for a selected product. Step 3, order creation. After selecting a product, we need to create an order. Every purchase needs to be tracked with an order ID so that the system can manage the transaction properly. Let's see how that works. In this line, we create an instance of the order controller which handles all the order related actions. The order controller communicates with the order service to process orders. The controller service pattern is consistent here as well, keeping the logic for creating orders inside the service. In this line, we call the create order method from order controller, passing the laptop product as an argument. Then the order controller forwards this request to the order service, which creates an order object. This one. And the order service generates a unique ID, order ID, which in this case starts at 111003. The generated order object is returned containing both the order ID and the product, which is the laptop. At this point, the order has been created. It has unique ID associated with the purchase of the laptop. This order is important because it keeps track of what the user is buying and will use in the payment steps. So go to the next. Step 4, payment processing. Now that we have the order, we need to process the payment. Let's go over the payment part. In this line, we create an instance of payment controller which handles the payment related actions of the payment controller communicates with the payment service. To process the payment like other controllers, it passes the business logic to service layer. And this line right here, we call the process payment method from payment controller. We pass the order object, which is representing the purchase of the laptop, and the payment method, which is the credit card in this case. This one. The payment controller forwards this request to the payment service. Payment service. And which process the payment. And inside the payment service, a new payment object is created. This object links the order to the payment method and confirms the transaction. At this point, the system has processed the payment for the order and the transaction is complete. The payment is the payment information is linked to the order, ensuring the system knows how the user paid for the laptop. Now going to the next step 5, displaying the output. Finally, after processing the payment, the system will display the transaction details. Let's review the output part of the code. So in this line, right here, this line prints the name of the user who made the purchase. So since we fetched the user as Nubnub, it will print the username, then we will get the username, this one, Nubnub. Then in the next line, this prints the name of the product the user purchased, which is laptop. So product purchase, then we'll get the product name, which is laptop. Then the next line, this line right here, this prints the unique order ID and the product associated with it. With that order, in our case, the order is 111003. So it will print like order created, order, then you get the order ID. So the order ID is like this. This is 111003. And the next slide. In this line, this prints the payment method used to process the order. Since we use credit card, it will print payment process for order, then get order ID using this one. It's credit card. Now, when we run the program, this is the complete output summarizing the entire transaction from the start to finish. So final output. So the final output when we run the program looks like this. So as you can see, the output. So we have username. This one, the product purchase. So username Nubnub, product purchase laptop. Order created, order ID is 111003 for product laptop. Payment process for order of 111003 using credit card. Transaction completed. Thank you for shopping with us. The system works combining by multiple layers such as users, products, orders, and payments into a seamless workflow. We use controllers to fetch and manage data from services, and each part communicates with the others to complete the e-commerce process. This e-commerce system demonstrates how different components of a system interact. We saw how the user selects a product, creates an order, processes the payment, and completes the transaction. Each part of the system is structured into packages, making it easy to manage and extend. I hope this demonstration was helpful. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration.